What's going on, everybody? So the Jaguars today hosted the Detroit Lions and lost by a score of 34-16, and the Detroit Lions improved to 2-3, while the Jaguars are now 1-5 on the season. So I'm gonna start off by saying this: I was not able to actually sit down and watch this game in its entirety. I was at a wedding in Sarasota yesterday and kind of left today, and I kind of start off in downtown Sarasota, kind of watching on my phone. Then I was listening kind of to it. Then I went over to a friend's place that lives in the area, and he had Red Zone on one big TV and kind of the Jaguars off to the side. But at that point, the Jaguars were down by so much. I was just kind of more focused on my fantasy teams and Red Zone, kind of watching actual interesting football. So, I don't know, when it comes to this, I mean, I've watched like the first three drives. The Jaguars started off 3-0, or 3 and out. After taking the opening possession, punted the ball off, then the Detroit Lions drove down for a touchdown, and then from there, the Jaguars, and they went 3 and out, they got stabbed, and then the rest of the game, they just bled out, and obviously, this game was never in doubt. It was never close. It just wasn't even really worth watching, to be honest with you. And, I have not been shied away from the fact that, when I look at it, this is a win to me. I am all about the Jaguars tanking, not only to kind of get a potentially get a franchise-changing quarterback, but also to kind of get just all the bad guys out. I mean, just to clear out the front office, to fire the coaches, because at this point, and there's been times in the past where with this team, people blame the quarterback. They blame, the defense isn't good enough. Todd Wash, Doug Marrone, Dave Caldwell, whatever. But, it seems like really for the first time since Shad Khan has taken over this team, people were putting blame at the owner. Because, man, as a true Jaguars fan, as much as I do want this team to tank and to lose, I hate seeing the team look like this, man. I hate on Sundays the Jaguars just getting flat out beat by teams that have the same exact record as us. I mean, we're getting blown out by, we lost 3 straight games and teams without wins. Then we come in here, the Lions are 1-3 going into this game. I mean, they're not the Ravens, they're not the Steelers, they're not the Chiefs, whatever. They're the Detroit Lions, and they just make us look like they're like we're an elementary school team. Matt Patricia, 34 points. That's the highest amount of points that this team has scored since he's been there. We are breaking all kinds of new records, horrible records at that. And the team just looks horrible. So I sit here and wonder, how can a GM or not a GM, but how can an owner actually be able to watch this stuff? And it just makes me feel like, it almost proves the fact that, man, it's like he really doesn't care about the football side of things, He is, because as a true fan, if you're watching this, man, you're most likely a fan of the Jaguars, and you most likely hate seeing a team go down like this. But Shad Khan, it's somehow acceptable to him. How is this acceptable to him? I mean, you've already seen two head coaching firings between Bill O'Brien and, their owner, McNair is he's very passionate about the team, and he's involved with the team. You also see Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, fired Dan Quinn, and he's very involved with the football side of things. But Shad Khan, he is just an absentee owner. He's not around. He treats the Jaguars like a holding company, like a profit center, and it's almost like he's more involved with what Mark Lamping is doing than what actually Dave Caldwell is doing. And Dave Caldwell, just his record as a GM has just been horrible. I mean, he's got 80-some losses. I think he's like 30-something and 80-something as a GM. If someone can tell me the exact record that Dave Caldwell has as a GM, leave the comment down below. I'll pin it for everybody to see. But man, it's been horrible. And how do you keep around a guy like this, man? And then, you look at the coaching staff, and, we look at things, and Todd Wash, everybody wants Todd Wash gone. And one big reason is that he's trying to force players to fit his scheme, as opposed to forming a scheme around players. I mean, we drafted Josh Allen and Clavon Chason in the first round of each of the last drafts, and we're trying to force them into what he wants his defense to be, as opposed to saying, oh look, Clavon, you're a lot better in a 2-point stance. We're going to use you more like this. Instead, he's kind of putting his hand to the ground and has just been a non-factor. And I look around at this team right now, like, who had good games? Keelan Cole had a good game, it looks like. He was, 6 receptions, 143 yards. That's absolutely stellar. Besides that, pretty quiet on the opposite side of things. The defense, I mean, Joe Schobert had 1 interception. Other than that, I don't see any sacks over here. There was none of that. And then Gardner Minshew, it looks like Gardner Minshew, 25 or 44, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also had a fumble on the day. So, I mean, everyone has their opinion about Gardner Minshew. Obviously, I'm not a believer in Gardner Minshew. Then there's also people that, acknowledge that he's not playing very well, but also want to hold everybody else accountable except for him for how he's played. But, he's just, I don't think at this point there's anything he can do to really make me believe that we should move forward with him. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into that. Obviously, you guys know I want a new quarterback. I want to try to take a shot at one of these guys in the draft. We're probably not going to be able to get Trevor Lawrence because Jets aren't helping us out at all, man. Jets just lost to the freaking Dolphins 24-0. So they're not, at least Jaguars put up 16 points. They can't even put up points on the board. But, as it stands right now, the Jaguars are number 5 overall in the draft. So I don't know. I guess we just got to keep losing. But I don't know. Like, it's just crazy because, like, I want to keep losing. But still, when we lose, I get frustrated just because, like, I just don't understand how we can have an owner that just sits here and acts like this is acceptable, acts like I don't know what direction we're going to take. We are essentially in year 1 of a rebuild with a lame duck head coach and hopefully a lame duck GM. So I don't know. We got 10 more games of this, guys. 10 more games, so... Draft talk, April is 6 months away and we're talking about the draft. It's just unreal, but I don't know. Let me know some of your thoughts on this game. And, sorry I wasn't able to do a live stream. Honestly, ironically enough, I'm going to be out of town next week, so I won't be able to do a Chargers game. But going forward, the rest of them I should be able to do, whether I like it or not. At least we can kind of agonize in pain with each other. We always have that, but... All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. Go Jaguars. I'm out.